Hi, AP Lit students. It's Miss O'Connor here with your Monday recording. This is for Monday, May 4th, and I've got a few things I want to cover in this video, but my first and biggest announcement is that including today, we are now 10 days away from the AP Lit test. So we're on that final home stretch. And I want to just shout out those of you who have been consistently doing your practice and you've been turning in like really authentic AP Lit work for the past couple of weeks. You guys are looking really good, and I'm excited to see what your work for your test looks like. And just stay strong. We've got 10 days left, and then a little bit of this pressure is going to let up. So just very proud of you guys. So for today, I've got our students will be able to statement up on the top of the document here. Students will be able to write an analytical essay using annotation strategies and outlining body paragraphs. The real focus of this is on the annotation strategies. I'm getting really good submissions from students, and even though the submissions are good, the thing that will make your submissions stronger is annotating the passage and choosing really specific evidence and really specific ideas that you're going to explore in the essay. Strong annotations lead to strong writing because it focuses your writing down and anchors it in a very specific point that you're going to prove by the end of the paper, and saves you from losing your train of thought or getting off track. So we're going to hop right into it, into accessing the newest assignment and moving it to the Google Doc. So this is something I talked about a little bit. This is the AP Lit Exam one-pager, or I call it the cheat sheet in my head. Mr. O'Neill and I made it. This is a super cool thing for you to use. It has the link to your assignments here, so you can open up your College Board. And once your College Board is open, you can see your newest assignments. So the assignment that's due at the end of this week is 5-8. It's Zenobia. It is the 2018 Q2 essay prompt. And when you open it up, this is what I recommend. You literally grab the whole essay. So pull it like that, Control C, and then you can drop it in a Google Doc. This video, just so you can pace it for yourself. So we talked about the test, we accessed the assignment, moved to the Google Doc. We're going to go over the annotation tips and tricks, including breaking down the prompt and annotating the first paragraph of this assignment, and then previewing using the body paragraph outline, transferring the work back to the classroom, and then I'm going to give you the closing instructions for the week. Moving into the actual essay. So there's a few tips and tricks I really want to emphasize for you guys. The annotation strategy that a student has recommended and that I think works really well is to not even bother with highlighting, but to actually write your thoughts directly into the passage by clicking on the text color and changing the text color to what it is that you want. So you can say something like big question and little question here. And so when you break this prompt apart, you don't have to move it anywhere else. You could start putting your thoughts in to the actual paper. And the other thing that's really cool, and I have to say this, like doing the AP test online is a huge opportunity for you guys because it gives you access to resources you were not allowed to use in the classroom. So when you read this prompt, the following exchange from a 1952 novel by Nathaniel Hawthorne occurs when two characters who've been living on the Blythedale farm, a community designed to promote an ideal of equality achieved through communal rural living, are about to part ways. Read the passage carefully. In a well-written essay, analyze how Hawthorne portrays the narrator's attitude towards Zenobia through the use of literary techniques. So we already know that the little question is going to be literary techniques. And so the issue here is, what is the big question? Or towards Zenobia. Okay, but then it gave you this sentence here. And this sentence here, these two characters who've been living on the Blythedale farm, is your context. They gave this to you as sort of like a little freebie. It helps you out with understanding what's happening. But it only works if you know what these words mean. So what does it mean, communal What does communal mean? If you highlight the word in your Google Doc and then right click on it, it's going to say explore communal. Explore. Up here, it pops up and it gives you definition, and it finds it on the internet for you. You can also choose to do an explore like this. So let's say rural. We don't know what rural means. So we right click on that and let's define rural. It means something out of the town or in the countryside. Okay, so rural means countryside. We can start translating out what this context means. Two characters lived together in a community house or a shared house. I misspelled that word. See, it highlighted it in red. I misspelled it because I was rushing, and it gives me what the correct spelling is. I got off on a tangent there, and I cut it to save you guys effort and space. But at the end of the day, just making sure that you're using the resources that a Google Doc gives you automatically to, first of all, translate out what the context is and making sure that you're understanding those keywords and the prompts so that you're making the most of all the information that they're giving you is really important. Make sure you break down the big prompt and the little prompt, and then continue annotating and using that same strategy in the actual passage itself. So we're looking for this attitude towards Zenobia. We know that there are two characters happening in this passage. So in this very first paragraph of it, we know that this person is talking to this character, and that Zenobia herself, Zenobia's proud figure, likewise, and my own. So Zenobia is a character. That's the biggest surprise to me. I kind of walked into this thinking Zenobia was a place. So we're looking for characterization. So how do we feel about this person? So a few things we already know about Zenobia. I'm going to start plugging my conclusions in right here because I want all my thoughts in one place. So we know that she's a female. Her. And there's this huge keyword here, this very first sentence, once you understand that this is that Zenobia is the character being talked about. So I'm going to hit explore for this one because there's this really cool technique that happens if you are using this one. So the thesaurus.com, the synonyms. A synonym is other words that mean the same thing. So it helps you think of good diction to use in your essay and stuff. While this page is loading, I'm sorry if I keep frowning and rubbing at my face, guys. I decided to try and sit outside because I was trapped indoors and I needed to feel the sunshine, but the sunshine makes me frowny and there's a lot of pollen in the air, which means I keep rubbing at my face. So pardon it. Just the struggles of being human. So bewildered. Bewildered means confused. So her manner and attitude confused him. Got two of the same thing open. And then we can start looking for other really good adjective words that we can start using. So baffled, mystified, puzzled, or shocked. And we can start thinking that those are going to be good adjectives to maybe start thinking about for our analysis or for a thesis. Mystified, shocked. Okay. Mystified, shocked, baffled. If you continue reading this first body paragraph right before we even get to line 10, there's a sharp contrast in describing the house that Zenobia is living in now versus the house that they lived in when they were in the countryside. And you can say that this is imagery or even contrast. And it's telling us that the place that she lives in now, it's got lots of lights and marble brackets and vases and rich furniture. So living high status, not living equal, like they were before. And this can contribute to why this person, the narrator, feels shocked or confused by this change in Zenobia. So we've already started with like finding evidence and finding those key adjectives that are going to let us build our thesis. So you can see here I have a split page, and I've got my assignment over here, and this would allow me to continue to keep an eye on my time and transfer over my essay really easily. I also strongly recommend that you keep a timer open on your phone and that you use like the resources around you to track your time. But I'm going to move on to creating a body paragraph. So I'm going to transfer my annotations over, and I'm going to set up my body paragraph. In this one pager, the cheat sheet, again, like it's a great resource. It has a outline like for you that you can start plugging stuff in and out of. The other thing that's also really good is you can just steal the thesis, plug in the blank thesis, and just transfer it over and fill it in as you need. What you may need to do when you open this up is you need to make a copy so that you have the copy for yourself, as opposed to the master copy that's actually linked in the paragraph in the one pager. Okay, so I've got it open and prepped. I've got my fill in the blank, so I can say there's no title for this excerpt. It's just the author, Nathaniel Hawthorne, uses contrasts and diction to convey how the narrator's attitude towards Zenobia is, and then that blank is your key adjective that makes your paper unique and forms the basis of the rest of your argument for your whole paper. And then you can continue on with your claim. There is diction that shows blank attitude, and then your piece of evidence, and then at least 2 sentences explaining it. And when you're done, you can literally delete these things, and then you just Control-C your writing, and you would move it over into the assignment. When your writing is in the assignment, it's essential that you submit it. This is just a key thing that I really want to highlight for all students, is that the test will automatically time you out at the 45-minute mark. So you need to save the last 5 minutes of anything and do that work inside the actual page. And I don't have it because this is a teacher view, but you will have a submit button down here at the bottom, and it is essential that you hit that submit button, because even if you have work in there, if you do not submit the work, the graders can't see it, and it counts as a non-submission, as if you weren't even there for the test. So it's really important that if you submit your work early and it's unfinished, it's better than not submitting it at all. Okay. Closing final notes. Zenobia is due this Friday. It's an authentic practice. You should time yourself. You should submit the Google Doc with your annotations and a Google Doc with your outline in the Google Classroom. The actual essay itself is the bulk of your work, and I would like that essay in the AP Classroom. If for any reason you are still not able to access the AP Classroom and you are not doing your work there because you are unable to do your work, you have to let me know and reach out directly. Because if you can't do that work on the AP Classroom, you will not be submitting an AP test. This Wednesday, I'm going to release another practice. It's optional, but it's going to come with a much stricter 45-minute timer. Also, there's an attached video from College Board in this week. It's a very good video. It shows you how the different ways that you can access and submit your work, including taking pictures of a written essay and submitting a written essay instead of typing it if typing doesn't work for you. If you need any help or have any questions, please reach out to me. Please use my email. Please see me on office hours. You guys are going to keep being amazing, and I'll see you later.